You just couldn't wait, could you? Spill it all over your... Oh, shit.
Dumbass.
That beer could not wait to be opened. Spilling everywhere.
Beers were meant to be drink, Britton. Beers were meant to be drink.
But is this not like the perfect beer for last week's episode? Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, we really messed this one up.
So last week, obviously, we had the viewer submission UFO episode, and this beer can, literally, it's called Your Soul, a UFO, and it's got a fucking UFO on it with an alien, and it says, "You've changed."
He's like touching another alien.
Yeah.
Just like looking at him.
Double dry hopped, double India pale ale. It's pretty good. It's pretty smooth. I like me an IPA.
I like it. Tastes good.
It's really good. But welcome back to The Abyss, everybody, for another fun-filled, family-oriented episode.
We're a family show.
Get your kids, bundle up, turn the lights down low, and listen to the smooth sounds of horror.
The smooth swear words from Clean Britain.
Yeah, your kids are going to learn a lot of new vocabulary listening to us. Don't do that. Don't subject your kids to our stories. So I watched a new movie a couple nights ago, Cocaine Bear. It's amazing. Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it.
So good.
Sometimes I think it's like the failure of like our culture to make a show like that. It's just
a
about
real
a
story
bear on cocaine.
It's a real story.
All right, okay.
Yeah, like a drug dealer dumped a bunch of coke out of his airplane and a bear got to do it. It's a real story, and it's hilarious. It's so over the top, so stupid, but just so good. Like, I was laughing hysterically. So you should watch it. If anyone's seen Cocaine Bear, you know what I'm talking about. But The Nun 2 came out. I heard it's really good.
Christine went and saw that, and she said it was very good.
You
She
didn't go
like
with
the
her?
first one. No.
Okay, so I'm going to read an email that was emailed into us from one of the listeners of our show named Penn, and he writes random stories because I'm bored. Hey guys, I don't know if this will be helpful or interesting, but I have a few stories which may or may not be true to share with you. I'm intrigued. Most of the stories you're about to read were told to me by either my parents or someone else I can't recall right now. They involve cults mostly. Oh, I like cults.
I like me a good cult.
First up is Rich Guy Drinks from a Baby. Wow, what the hell? That's a hell of a title. The title I just made up says it all, and it was told to me by my father. It goes like this. A thief at the north or far north region, can't remember which one, and they're different places, snuck into a rich guy's house and was hoping to score big. Unfortunately, the owner was at home, so he hurriedly went underneath his bed and hoped he wouldn't get caught. The owner hadn't noticed him, so he sat on a chair in his room with a box and a knife in hand. Type of box wasn't specified. The owner opened the box and pulled out a baby. I'm assuming it was drugged because it didn't cry, according to my father's narration. Man, this is taking a dark turn.
Yeah, my God.
He then proceeded to slit its throat and started drinking its blood. After gorging till he had his fill, he put it back in the box and started napping, and he snored very loudly. The thief was shocked, but he gathered his courage and snuck out while the owner was still sleeping and immediately went to the police and explained the entire situation to the police. So he and a couple of officers returned to the home as quickly as possible, found the guy still sleeping with the baby in the box still on his lap. He and the thief got arrested, and that's end. And that's the end. A lot of people have theories why he drank baby blood, like a condition for riches or a sacrifice from a colleague in their cult, etc. I don't really know.
I bet it's because he's part of the lizard people.
Probably.
Yeah, clearly a lizard.
Clearly. Second story is not as intense, but it happens surprisingly frequently here. Title, What's in the Bucket? What's in the box? A lady is riding a bus with a bucket, the type with lids.
It's like a portable toilet.
Yes. After they've traveled for a while, people start getting an extremely putrid odor. It got so bad at some point, the driver stopped the bus and started checking passengers. She's like, which one of you smells like shit? When they finally got to the lady and asked about the bucket, she wouldn't let anyone even touch it, much less open it. After some people held her, they opened the bucket to reveal blood, like a lot of blood. And on further inspection, it had a human head in it. The lady got arrested. Probably. Can't remember all the details.
Did he say this happens all the time?
Happens surprisingly frequently
Just
here.
People going on buses with human heads in a bucket?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can you elaborate on how frequently this happens? Like, and where is it that you live?
Every time I get on a bus, it happens. And they always stare at me.
Every time I see someone get on the bus with a bucket, and I'm getting off.
They never break eye contact. And when the police drag them off the bus, they look at me and whisper, This isn't for science.
Oh, shit. Third story is totally true. Title, Invincibility Must Be Tested. Okay, this one needs some background information. There's currently a separatist group in 2 of our 8 regions causing havoc. They're mostly scammers, but heavily armed scammers, and they make our already difficult lives exponentially harder.
Scammers are the worst.
Anyways, so a lot of people here subscribe heavily to the supernatural in general. So the separatists tell people they are invincible due to some rituals they do that involve cannibalism, rape, torture, and all that good stuff, which they did on video previously. Okay. Anyways, a relative of my father's wanted to join them and went to a Baba, a medicine man in my tribe. The Baba told him he can make him invincible too, so they did the ritual and the guy said they should test it. The Baba was like, okay, let's shoot your leg, but the guy slapped his chest a couple of times and said, a fit filam Baba, knock him to here. The Baba agreed and shot him there, instantly killing him. Holy cow. After people noticed he was missing and his intentions to go supernatural, separatist, he asked the resident Baba and he explained himself and nothing happened. People were like, oh well, and went about their lives apparently. That's all I can remember for now. Sorry it's so long.
It's either that happened or the Baba's a murderer and that was his cover story.
Yeah, he's like, I can make you invincible. You just need to take a bullet to the chest.
You want to be a separatist and I wanted to kill him.
Separatist meaning I'm going to separate you from your life. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, Penn, for writing in. Those are some crazy stories, especially the bucket, but I am curious. Constantly people are carrying buckets full of heads. All right, so now we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of the episode, and Cleet found quite an interesting site. That
it's going to get weird.
It's going to get really weird. So, Cleet, just do a little bit of explanation of what we're going to be reading.
Well, one of our most popular episodes was when we went over 4chan, so we're going to be visiting that again, and we're going to be doing creepy green text 4chan posts.
What's a green text post, for those who don't know?
It just means it's posted in the random form, I believe, and it's just in green text, and it's just anecdotal stories of people's lives, and we're specifically focusing on the creepy. I'm pretty old. I don't really understand 4chan that much, and I assume we're going to get trolled like we did last time we covered 4chan. So, that's probably going to happen.
We got trolled?
Oh, yeah. Someone like, I don't want to talk about it. All right, the first story. I'll tell you a story of when I was on a road trip a few years back. Be me. Decided one night after drinking heavily to gather a few friends and go on a road trip to Sydney from Adelaide for a long weekend. Pack the van, figure it'll be more than a day trip, so we'll have to camp out for the night unless friends want to keep driving throughout the night. We leave fairly late in the day because we underestimate how lazy/hungover we are. Get on the road around lunchtime. Make good progress, flooring it on the highway. It starts to get quite late into the night, and we've had a turn driving. Friend starts to feel really uneasy and carsick. Fuck it, we'll just pull over and camp for the night. Friend gets increasingly sick throughout the night, starts throwing up constantly into plastic bags in the van. No way in fuck I'm sleeping in the van. Why don't you just throw up outside? Myself and my other mates set up our swags, kind of like a mini tent sleeping bag for one person, out in a rest and revive station set up along the highway, but with an eye shot of the van. Beautiful night, full moon, and bright as shit. Swag has a flap you can open so you can see out in the sky, but with mesh to protect you from bugs and shit. Decide to leave mine open and talk to mate and watch the stars. Eventually fall asleep with the flap still open.
Hate falling asleep with the flap open.
You gotta shut your flap. I wake up in the middle of the night due to something dropping into and hitting my face.
Did someone shit in his face?
It feels warm. It smells horrible. I start to absolutely freak the fuck out, but I'm frozen with fear. What the fuck is going on? My eyes slowly adjust and I can see a silhouette of something peering into my swag. I violently close my eyes and pray to fucking God that I don't die. The swag shudders suddenly, as if something climbed on top of it, but then the silhouette disappears. I hear the van door open and then running. Sick friend rushes over to my swag and unzips in hysterics. Are you fucking okay? Oh God, I watched it the whole time. Where the fuck is Aaron? We both turn on our phone torches and leg it over to his swag. It looks like as if he's been dragged a few meters and the pegs are all out on the ground. He's literally fucking frozen and wide-eyed. He starts whimpering, crying. We grab him and bolt to the van, lock the doors, huddle on the floor under a blanket for a few hours until sunup. 3 grown men cowering in fear. The next morning, we start the van and just drive, leaving our shit behind. come to the nearest police station in Horsham, tell cops our story. They follow us back where we set up for the night. Sure enough, Aaron's swag had been moved a trail from where it was first set up. The top of both of our swags is spattered in something. Looks like spots of dried saliva on the mesh. Smells awful, like decayed meat. Pack up our shit and leave back towards Adelaide.
What the hell happened there?
So, then it says, we have no fucking idea what happened that night. Cops think it may have just been some sort of animal. Mark is adamant that whatever he saw outside the van just stooped over it and moved erratically. Never camping out during that night again. Fuck my country so hard. That's so creepy. So what he's saying is like literally
this
an
massive
animal just stood above him and
like stooped.
Probably because he wanted to eat him or something, and the saliva glands were just going on. That's creepy as hell,
Bigfoot,
man.
This one supposedly comes from Teddy. All right. In hindsight, this one seems fucking lame, but at the time, I was shitting bricks. Be me. 13 years or so. My grandma just died, so my mother, stepfather, stepsister, and myself head to Winnipeg to gut the house. Stepdad is a painter, so he's going to redo the walls to increase the value of the house when we sell it. Grandma has this unfinished basement that always used to creep me out. Lots of people going down there carrying boxes up the whole time we're there. I'm sitting at the top of the staircase, looking down. I begin slowly making my way down by moving from step to step. I clearly see the shadow of somebody walking around and shit being cast on the wall. Figure it's just somebody moving some shit around. Realize everyone that's in the house is in the kitchen behind me. Shadow begins to get larger as if it's moving away from the light. By this time, I'm halfway down the stairs. Nope, the fuck out of there as fast as my 13 or so year old legs can carry me. Didn't know if it was a spooky ghost that closes doors or just my mind fucking with me. Still creeps me out to this day. Like I said, in hindsight, it isn't as scary as some of these green texts, but just being there after my grandma died and seeing some fucking shadow in this already creepy basement when nobody is down there scared me. God damn. That's fucking creepy. The hell is that?
All right, next one. Charlie Noonan's last interview. Charlie Noonan was an amateur folklorist who traveled throughout the South and Southwestern United States during the early years of the 20th century, collecting tall tales and stories of the supernatural. According to his wife, Ellie, Charlie was told a story one day of an Oklahoma farmer about a strange woman who lived alone on an isolated property in the Panhandle. The farmer claimed the woman was not a woman at all, but something else, something that hid its true nature beneath a headscarf, and was never seen without a large dog by its side. Noonan was apparently intrigued enough to try searching for the woman during one of his research road trips. He was never seen again. And then there's another post that says, Ellie Noonan was later contacted by the Tulsa pawnbroker who remembered reading about her husband's disappearance in the papers. After finding his name engraved on a camera sold to him by an interant, the pawnbroker returned the camera, and Mrs. Noonan had the film inside developed in the hopes of finding a clue as to his whereabouts. This was the only photo on the roll. Unfortunately, neither the location of the property nor the name of the farmer who told him the story was recorded in Noonan's notes. So, yeah, that's going to be on YouTube, obviously. But yeah, look at that picture, man. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, that's not... That
like, because it zooms in.
All right, we're going to jump into a long one here from Anonymous. Here's the start of it. Be up in the mountains, around 30 miles away from town, secluded as fuck. We live on family land that encompasses around 500 acres, most of it unexplored or explored by very few. There's around 20 people living on our land, and the closest person to us is around 2 to 3 miles away. Most people do not go out at night due to fear of cougars, coyotes, and bobcats. I know what they sound like for context and have experience with these animals,
God
FYI.
Damn older women.
Yeah, right? They'll get you. Can't go out because I'm afraid of attracting a much older woman's attention. Be me, 13 years old. Same with my cousin. We decide it's a good idea to construct a makeshift treehouse so we can look at the stars and camp outside. The treehouse is only 500 feet from our house, so it's not really a big deal to be camping out at night. My cousin's mom was off somewhere. The only other person there was my cousin's sister. We complete our construction late in the day, just as the sun is setting. We have sleeping bags and bring a lantern just in case. The stars are really starting to shine. Our gaze is fixed on the almost hypnotic view of the cosmos, pointing out shooting stars as they pass. Our construction of the treehouse is really starting to dawn on us, and sleep is slowly taking hold while we're quietly gazing at the stars. My cousin goes noticeably limp into a state of deep sleep. My eyes are getting heavy, and the sweet embrace of sleep is getting closer and closer. Gazing at the stars was just so relaxing. My eyes start to close, and I can feel myself falling asleep. But then I get an odd feeling, as if something is looking at me. I slowly open my eyes, groggily trying to reconcile what I was feeling, this weaning feeling of being observed. I took my gaze away from the stars and leaning up slightly, looking into the open field opposite of our house, where the forest off the mountain begins and ends. That's when I saw them. Those eyes. Those eyes. They were so inhuman. Simultaneously seeing those eyes, a wrenching screaming, low howling, human cry of agony mixed in with the high-pitched tones of the cats that roam this mountain, echoing across our secluded valley. My eyes go wide with fear. My heart is constricted with terror, my body bound by fright. Those eyes, they're getting closer. Those eyes, there's more than one set. There's two. No, there's three. Holy fuck, they're fast. Those eyes, they're streaking across the field like lightning. They're almost a third of the way across the field. How the fuck? Fuck. Speak, mouth, speak. Cousin, wake the fuck up. Yeah, what? He was really a heavy sleeper. Why the fuck he didn't wake the fuck up, though? I thought in the back of my mind. Dude, look! I point towards the silhouettes of eyes traversing like wildfire across the field. What the fuck? He howled with terror. Let's go! We screamed in unison. We looked at each other and nodded, a silent agreement that we would make sure both of us survived. I hopped off first, being the one closest to the direction of our house. I could feel it. The gaze of something else, watching me. Those eyes, searing into my mind like the hot sun's silhouette, burned into my eyes. I landed with some grace, rolling quickly to break my fall. I started to book it, forgetting my cousin. Those eyes being the only thing in my mind. I heard a grunt and thump behind me. My mind raced back to our silent agreement. I turned, forgetting to stare for a moment, and hurriedly helped my cousin arise to his feet. Let's go, I screamed with the thought of those eyes once again burning into my mind. We raced to the house, faster than we'd ever gone in any race, track meet, or game we've ever played. All we wanted was the safe return to the house. Time had seemingly slowed down. I was running as fast as possible, but my mind raced much faster than I could ever run. 300 feet away. I can feel it. I know they're close. What the fuck are they? 200 feet away. Oh God, what the fuck? What did I do to deserve this? Faster. 100 feet away. I'm so young. Please be unlocked, door. Please be unlocked. We slam into the door, ready to enter the warm arms of safety the house provides, but it was fucking locked. We simultaneously start screaming, let us in, please, for the love of God. There's something out here, let us in. His sister had obviously heard the ominous screams of who the fuck knows and replies, no way, I'm too scared. My heart sinks. My cousin looks at me like this is it. I think, okay, I can do this. Please, we're scared. I don't want to be eaten alive. She responds, but they could be out there. I vehemently respond, grab the rifle and unlock the door for fuck's sakes. Animals can't unlock doors, you dumbass. Okay, she responds reluctantly, slowly walking over towards the door, each faltering footstep a step closer towards my early demise. I peered behind me, feeling those eyes bore into my soul. My eyes hurriedly searched the nitty-gritty fence line like a game of I Spy that my life depends upon. Is that eyes?
That's a funny description that my life depends upon.
I spy. If you get it wrong, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. The cool rush of click came flowing to my ears. Forgetting all about this terror and rushing into the arms of the house, I broke into tears. I slammed the door and locked it, hugging my dear rifle, then my cousin, giving a sneering gaze towards the faltering girl who could have made me have an early end. I nod in agreement. That night we sat guarding the door and peering out the window facing the fields and shifts. We never saw those eyes again. That night could have been so different. I could have died. Or much worse.
Damn.
Interesting. Just a bunch of coyotes and they're all freaking out.
Next story. Hey, X, let me tell you a story. Pick as a map of the place I was staying, just to give you a better feel of what's going on. You like the picture there, Britton? Like the picture?
I probably couldn't have drawn much better.
Little brown stain going from the house to the lake.
Yeah, the lake field. And then the home is like in a puddle of piss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
The green is all forest and the yellow is grassy areas. The house was on a hill and the brown stuff is a path. This is my cousin's property where I recently visited. Shit went down. Never going back. B23. Go visit cousin in the country for 3 days. He has a house with a small lake or large pond or whatever, big enough to swim in. His property also has a decent amount of thick forest. Forest surrounds the lake. His house in this largest field area. Field has a shed filled with junk. It's a pretty cool place. I used to go as a young kid. Basically spent every summer there of my life up until I was 12. Suddenly stopped going, and whenever I told my mom I wanted to go back, she just said no. Gave no reason, just no. Eventually give up and move on. But a few weeks ago, I got a call from my cousin. Hey, I haven't seen you in forever. Come visit sometime. Why not? My cousin tells me I can bring a friend or two if I want, but he says he's inviting some friends over too. His parents are on a cruise in the Caribbean apparently, and he's house sitting. He's older than me, 25 or 26 I think, so I go visit with buddies of mine, Mark and Aiden. Meet cousin Luke and his
Me cousin Luke. Me cousin Luke.
Me cousin Luke. Meet cousin Luke and his 5 friends, Chris, Mary, Henry, Jesse, girl. You don't differentiate. It's a girl. And Jasper. 8 of us in total. Me and the buddies arrive around 1 and unpack our stuff. Greeted with weed and beer.
That's a camping trip.
Yeah. Cool. All of my cousin's friends seem like chill people. Eventually settle in. Head out to the lake to swim until it's about 3 or 4. While I'm swimming, I have this bad feeling as if I'm being watched. Wave it off, enjoy girls in bikinis and the booze.
Just go scroll to the bottom of the page.
It was like Piranha 3D.
3 double D.
Cousin has a water trampoline for the lake. Also a paddle boat. Dick around all afternoon until about 6. Cousin tells us at the time to wrap it up. Psh, party pooper.
I was going to say 6 o'clock. Time to wrap it up, boys. We got an early rise tomorrow.
Getting real late.
Fucking 6 p.m.
Cousin just waves it off, and even though we argued, he makes us head up to the house. We eat some pasta for dinner, and it's like 7 now. Beautiful summer night. I want to watch the sunset, grab a 6-pack, and head outside. Where are you going, Annon? My cousin asks. Oh, just outside. It's a nice night, I say. Cousin looks nervous. I don't know about it, Annon. There's bears outside. They get pretty close to the house. Well, if it happens, I'll just come inside, I tell him. Look, still looks worried. Lets me go. Chill outside for a bit. Cousin comes outside after a while. Brings gun with him. Lol, what? What the fuck do you need this for? I ask. Me being raised in the suburbs, I've never touched a gun before, let alone seen a real one. You know, just in case. Sit outside for a while. The sun is gone and starts to get dark. Cousin insists we go inside. I give in. He locks the doors behind us, but I notice there's a huge fucking deadbolt on the door. Like really big. Unreasonably big.
Is an unreasonably big penis.
What is he compensating for? 3 other smaller locks on the door as well. Whatever, I guess. They're just secure. Head upstairs and chill with everyone. They're watching a movie and smoking some weed. Take a seat next to Mary because she's hot. We chat it up. She's cool and drunk, and I say hi. Oh, she suggests we go somewhere quieter. Head over to the bedroom on the first floor. Start making out. Get some action. She suddenly stops. What's wrong with her, I ask. She says nothing and just stares behind me, kind of like she's looking for something. Suddenly she screams. Loudest fucking scream I've ever heard. Runs out of the fucking room. Looks behind me. Nothing there. What the fuck? Am I that repulsive? Maybe, bro.
What are you reading?
I edited somehow. We'll be fine. She's sitting in the middle of the living room in the fetal position. I give her stuff, and she's putting it back on. Everyone else runs downstairs. What's wrong, I ask. What's wrong? What the fuck is this screaming? Everyone asks. She doesn't talk for a few minutes. People start saying some bad things. I'm like, nope, didn't happen. She finally speaks up. Thanks, bitch. Now tell them I didn't.
Oh my god, dude.
We're gonna take that. Okay.
Thanks, bitch. So aggressive. Thanks, bitch.
She says while they were together, I looked outside the window and thought I saw something, but because the light was on, I couldn't really see out the window all that well, she says. Makes sense. All of a sudden, someone's face gets real close to the window, except their face is all wrong. What? Their eyes were sunken in, and their nose seemed really broken. Everyone is quiet as fuck listening to her, and their mouth and just hanging open, just almost crooked, like they had just dislocated a jaw or something. Everyone starts freaking out. Oh my gosh, there's a creeper watching us. What the fuck? Ew, gross. He sounded ugly. Some people think she's kidding. It was probably just Ananon's reflection, Aiden says. That's funny. Lol, herder. I'm being fucking serious right now, you fucks. Mary snaps at him. I know what I fucking saw. All this time, my cousin is just quiet. Hasn't said a word yet. I ask him what he thinks. Everyone shuts up and listens to him. I think we shouldn't worry about it, he says. The fucker was wrong, and he knew it. Mary gets mad at people for not taking her seriously, but eventually calms down. We all settle down for the night upstairs in the big room with the TV. The rest of the night is uneventful. Day 2. Wake up. Still a little weirded out from last night's events. Whatever. Probably just some weirdo. Won't happen again. Start out the day just fine. Eat breakfast. Go for a morning hike with everyone, except Mary, who left that morning in her own car. Smoke a little. Head back. All while feeling awfully paranoid that something was watching us. Start swimming. Sitting on the water trampoline. Look out into the forest. See someone standing there. They're pretty far away, so I can't see who it is. I wave. They wave back, but the wave seemed real sluggish. Almost slow motion. Look back up. There's only 5 of us total at the lake. Me, Aiden, Luke, Mark, and Chris. Everyone else went to smoke. I assume it's one of them. Look back at where the person was. They're gone now. I guess they moved on. Everyone who was gone suddenly shows up. How'd you guys get around the lake so quickly? I asked them. They're confused. Says they were just in the house eating. What? I waved at you, though. Dude, what are you talking about? We've been inside. Okay, what? Cousin Luke looks worried. He looks out into the forest. I'm weirded out now. Level 5 nope alert right now. Something's up. I get off the water tramp and ask my cousin what's up. Not right now. I'll tell you later. Okay, whatever. It's about 6 or 7 p.m. Meanwhile, Chris, Henry, and Jesse go out to the shed to get a shovel. They want to dig a hole so they can have a fire pit tonight. Gone for a while. Suddenly hear a screech from the forest. More screeches. Luke tells us all to go the fuck inside.
Go the fuck inside.
Go the fuck inside. We all nope our way to the house.
Was this the same cousin that's like, all right, guys, wrapping it up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go inside. No fun.
Nothing's going on. There's no weird shapeshifter out in the house.
I can't wait for you to read that.
What the fuck is going on? He says nothing. He says nothing at first. They aren't supposed to come out during the day, he says to himself. They're breaking the rules. What the fuck are you saying? Here's a banging at the door. It's Chris screaming at the top of his lungs. Open the fucking door. Jesus Christ, you can't open the door. Luke opens the door and Chris barges in. Henry and Jesse are nowhere to be found. Where are Henry and Jesse? Luke asks. Fuck if I know. I separated and these things fucking started chasing me. Luke goes around the house and locks all the doors and the windows and closes all the shutters. We all go upstairs. Look out the window down the hill. See dozens of figures walking around the near edge of the woods. It wasn't even walking. It's more of like they were just jittering their way around. Like they were having seizures while walking. Even more, standing near the shed on the side of the woods, just standing there. What the fuck, Aiden says. What? I ask, but I don't need him to answer. Henry and Jesse are on the path on their way from the cabin as if nothing is wrong. They're just fucking walking really slow. Walk up to the door and try to get in. Start knocking. Should we let him in? Still knocking, nonstop. Luke is silent for a moment, like he's seen this before and doesn't want to tell us. It isn't them, he says. What the fuck? What do you mean it isn't them? Still knocking, louder now, more than just one hand, like a bunch of people knocking together. That's not them. It looks like them, but it isn't. We just need to fucking leave. We wait until morning, but no one sleeps. Knocking all throughout the night, endless screeching from everywhere. Eventually, screeching dies down. Knocking fades too by the morning. But Henry and Jesse are still there. I look outside from the window above the front door. They're just staring straight at the door. Suddenly, they both look up right at me. Their eyes are just gone, just deep empty sockets. Jaws are slack, fucking stare into my soul. There are eyes, but I can still feel them looking, even after I leave the window. I will never forget that look. Around 9 a.m., Luke decides it's time to go. Luke grabs his gun, gives us all a golf club that belongs to his dad. We're just going to run to the cars. Don't look around, just go. He tells me to drive the Range Rover and Chris is going to drive the sedan. After designating where everyone is going to sit, we all pile up in the back door. Luke opens it slightly, looks around, and then starts booking it to the car. We follow, get in the car, see Henry and Jesse running after us, but they aren't running. Almost like they're sliding across the grass while standing up, like puppets on strings. We get in the car. Jasper won't get into the car because he doesn't want to leave them inside. Luke fucking punches him in the face and throws him into the passenger seat of the sedan. Yeah, seems reasonable. We drive off, Henry and Jesse chasing us. Loud screeching from every fucking where. They almost drown out of sound of the engine. The screeches sound like what I would imagine a man-bat would sound like. Excuse me?
Man-bat from Batman.
That's
not what a man-bat sounds like. This is bats.
Don't leave us out here.
Dude, have you even heard of a man-bat, dude?
No, man.
That's not what it sounds like, first of all. Jesus.
I see figures on the side of the road, and occasionally I see faces. They're exactly what Mary described. I wish I could forget them. They look gross, deformed, and improper. They all had slack jaws, but one side of the jaw unusually hung over than the other. Their shoulders were lopsided, their stance and crooked, and their legs seemed broken and backwards, like a grasshopper legs.
Like a grasshopper legs.
Kept seeing them until we left the foresty area. Drive 90 all the way home. A few days later, I got home and called my cousin and asked him what went down. He just kept telling me to forget it.
Just forget it, man.
I asked him about things he said, like when under his breath he said, they're breaking the rules. Always just tells me to forget it ever happened because it would be better that way. Well, that's definitely a fake story.
Jesus Christ. You mean a fake novel?
Oh, my God.
More like it. Holy Lord. All right, this one is nice and short. I post this shit all the time. That's what it says. Driving home from my girlfriend's house at 3 a.m. She doesn't just let you stay the night. It's a bummer. Driving towards on-ramp for a bridge that I take all the time. As I approach it, I notice a very tall, extremely dark figure standing with its back facing the road. Looks like a humanoid-shaped, hooded figure with its hands in its pockets and its head looking down. It looks to be about 8 or 9 feet tall, not Slender Man. This fucking thing was the blackest shade of black I've ever seen in my existence. It was otherworldly. It was blacker than the night surrounding it. As I drive closer, it has no reaction to my presence whatsoever. I consider honking my horn at it, but the closer I get, the more overwhelmed by fear I become. I decided not to acknowledge it. It's probably a good decision because I never saw it again. What the fuck did I see, guys? Somebody help me. It's kind of crazy, actually. 3 a.m., driving home, see that shit? Nope. Keep going home.
Be me. Be about 2 years ago. Family's in Hawaii. I have to stay behind because of work. Live in a shit apartment, so I decide to spend the night at family's house while everyone is away. Oh, is that what you just read? It's about 3 a.m. Flipping through channels. Nothing's on. Start watching H2O, Just Add Water. Realize I'm 22 and watching H2O, Just Add Water, so I change the channel. In the black reflection, I see a silhouette of a man. I fucking freak. Too scared to look around. I keep changing channels so it stays black so I can see the reflection. Would have been smarter to just turn the TV off, but I wasn't thinking. He is still there just watching. Suddenly he does a full 180 and walks through the Arcadia door. Too scared to do anything, grab a blanket and fall asleep, act like nothing happened. Ah!
Being on. Closing manager at a sandwich joint. Have to stay late because someone called in sick, needed to get wicked drunk.
Wicked.
Leave at 12 when we close at 10. Just annoyed that it cuts into my Vidya time. Vidya time. I don't know what that is. Take the highway for once instead of the back roads. The highway follows this curve around a patch of forest. There's noise barrier walls erected along the highway sides. See something flit in front of my car. I'm going 80 miles an hour, so it seemed impossibly fast. Shrug it off. Fiddle with stereo a bit. Coming up on the end of the curve, there's a section with roadway lamps and an underpass. The sodium vapor street lamps all snap off at the same time. That's creepy. I check the clock. It's 12:11. Not any sort of changeover time for lights go on or off. Something dark flits in front of my car again, at an angle towards the underpass. Start to slow down, apprehension and dread smothering me. Going probably 45 miles an hour by the time I hit the underpass. All sound seems to stop or be muffled. My car stereo starts to fuck out, and the lights on my dashboard start to dim, and my headlights wink off.
Good old wink off.
Yeah. I do have to say, though, like, the whole my car stereo starts to fuck out.
It's going to get abducted, dude, for science.
Right, exactly. It's not for science. But that sentence there, like, it's funny because I don't remember where we were, but I had said that, like, I'm about to fuck out right now, and it just stuck. So this is the first time I've actually seen it written out.
Oh, yeah.
Other than when I've seen it.
I bet you wrote it on 4chan. You a 4chan user?
Shut up, Cleve.
You big Annan?
I don't know what you began, and I don't even know what this fucking is. Immediately nope out. Smash my foot into the pedal as the car starts to die. Yeah, it's aliens. Aliens did it. Get enough speed to roll out of the underpass and put in some distance.
My butt hurt.
For pleasure. At the last moment before emerging from the underpass, there was this absolute void of light, darker than normal nighttime. 2 misty golden globes in the center of it. There were no motorists on the road at this time. Noped out pretty hard.
I got one.
Oh.
Sometime in the late 90s, resident ghost in our house was youngish woman in her 40s, clothes, with glowing red eyes. Kind of freaky at first, but you get used to it. Wait, what? I feel like I need more context here. She mostly appeared as a shadow anyway. Anyway, reading Johnny Treeman for school, have to fill out a worksheet. One of the questions is particularly frustrating. Can't find the answer in the book. Go to sleep in frustration. She appears in dream. Red eyes and everything. Tells me the answer. Oh, cool. Ace the worksheet. And that's how a ghost helped me with my homework.
God damn. That ghost was helpful.
What?
Okay.
Really?
I mean, hey, take help where you can get it, man.
Is that so?
All right. Staying at Grandma's house one night. Trying to sleep on the couch in the living room. Suddenly get a feeling of overwhelming dread. I hide under the covers. Lay there in sheer terror, waiting for something to happen. Terrified of the thing that may or may not happen. Suddenly, hear the mechanical walk cycle of my little sister's toy dog across the room. For a couple minutes, I wonder if this is what I'm actually hearing. To explain a little bit more, this dog would walk and bark every few seconds if you turned it on. I know what you're talking about. Didn't you have that toy? The little walking, talking dog?
I have one now just for me.
Good for you. There was no barking. I could only hear the walk cycle. That wouldn't happen unless the bark was broken somehow. This went on for about 15 minutes. The noise suddenly stops. I force myself to go to sleep. The next morning, I check the dog. The dog hasn't moved. I flip it over. The switch is off. I turn it on. Sure enough, the walk cycle and the barking start up. Freak out internally. I'm not sure if it was some kind of anxiety-induced hallucination or what, but thinking about it still creeps me out. The dog was one of those fur-real white dogs.
Spooky.
Spooky indeed.
All right. Playing on Xbox Live with friends. There's a big thunder and lightning storm outside. Go to open the window to smoke. Flash of lightning lights up the entire yard. See dark figure standing in yard. I think, well, that's spooky. Finish smoking. Close the window. That's so funny.
Finish smoking.
That's fucking creepy. Finish your smoke and then close the window. Start to hear tapping / scratching on the glass. There's nothing there. Sit down, look in the corner to see a heavy bag slowly spinning itself. As I fucking type this, it's doing that. What? All right, sorry for the green text. I'm still shit at writing. Yeah, I'm just going to fucking do that. That's dumb. Yeah, you are.
I'm still
ideas too.
Shit at writing. At least he's knowledgeable. Sorry about this. I suck ass at this. Okay, next story. So, yeah. Be me, 21, back in an old house. Room located next to the main door. Lying in bed, resting. Been in the room for an hour. Door ajar. Parents were planning to leave the house for a party. Still waiting for my friend so we can weed out. Hear bicycle pull up near the front door. No, my friend is here. Mom and Dad faint chatter in the living room. Friend comes over, knocks on the main door. Wait for mom and dad to open the door. Nothing. No sound. Friend knocks again. Annoyed, I get off the bed, peep out. No parents. Give a shout to mom and dad while opening the door. Friend comes in, goes into my room. Since no shout back from mom and dad, we go check the house. No one's in the house. Fucking sleep paralysis, maybe nodding off in bed earlier. Pfft. Go into room. Friend asks, where's mom and dad? Me. Told you they were going out. They must have left. Friend. Anon. I heard people in the living room. That's why I knocked instead of just walking in. What the fuck? Got baked later on. Put the shit out of my mind. But that was pretty much the beginning of it. Shit kept getting weird around the house till we sold it.
Be me, 19. Come home early morning from a graveyard shift job. Walk into the house. Walk into room. Just want to hit the bed and die.
Wow. That's a little aggressive way to say you want to sleep. I just want to hit the bed and die. Oh.
Walk over to the bed just before Jizz. Right.
Just before falling asleep.
Just before falling, slap away the Batman sign on the bed.
What?
I'm gonna skip that.
Yeah, that was stupid. Oh my god.
All right. Refer to this picture. These pictures are so stupid.
they took the time to draw diagrams. I know. It's like
roof.
Point A. Holland shit. The shitter. Parents banging this room. This room sucks.
I gotta read just for the picture.
That's hilarious. I don't care who you are. Parents banging this room.
Be 16-ish or something. Laying down late at night in my bed. Here's some scratching at point A. I don't know why. Didn't give a shit. Night 2. Hear the shit. Louder. Freaked out a bit this time. The fuck is this shit? Goes on several nights.
Fuck is this shit?
Finally happens one night earlier than usual. Father says from the other room, "What are you doing, Anon?" You hear that too? It's outside on the roof. Brother could hear it from lower level where he sleeps. Asks about it too. My dad told me to give my older brother my mag light to check it out. Brother goes outside. He's like, yeah,
you go check it out.
I don't want to go look. Fuck that. Brother goes outside. Scratching stops. Brother comes in and says he didn't see anything. Parents go to sleep. Scratching starts again. Next morning, we go out and look at the roof. Panels are torn up a bit. Scratches don't happen again. It's been at least 3 years. The freaky thing is that there's nothing a raccoon could have climbed to get up there. We have raccoons under the deck, but unless they can climb a pine tree, they couldn't have gotten there.
That was parents banging this room. Next story. Be me, little kid. Always would lie awake in my bed reading comics and shit long after my parents sent me to bed. One night it's really humid out, so the window is open. Hear what sounds like some people talking outside. Look outside the window. No one's there. Go back to bed. Still hear the voices talking. They sound pretty close, almost like they're in our backyard, but I can never make out what they're saying. They keep talking for hours and hours, probably past midnight. This continues to happen occasionally whenever the window is open. Even today, I can still hear those fuckers talking when I'm sleeping at my parents' house. I think I may have heard them when the window was closed once or twice as well. Kinda weird.
Be my grandfather. Be born in 41. Living in Georgia at the time. Raised in a small house with 6 other siblings. 2 of them brothers. One day visiting aunt. Him and his 2 brothers decide to explore attic. Open attic and horrible smell rolls out. They gag and laugh and dare my grandfather, oldest of the 3, to go in. He says only if they follow right behind. They agree and I'll go into the attic. It's daytime, middle of summer, hot as balls in there. Youngest of the brothers freaks out, goes back downstairs. Dog starts barking like crazy. A few stories below, grandfather and brother continue exploring the attic. They find nothing out of the ordinary, start looking for source of smell. Seems to be coming from the grandfather clock. They go over and investigate it. Clock is still ticking. Open the front, and a congealed mass of rats tumbles out.
Oh, God. Congealed?
It's all tangled with what appears to be long hair, which was black. Hear a call from adults. They freak out and stuff the rats back inside.